Today we are going to start fluid pressure, chapter 14. Now, about this chapter you have already studied in class 9. What is fluid? Anything which can flow. Solids cannot flow, while liquids and gases can flow. Therefore, liquids and gases come under liquid and gases come under the fluid. Anything which can flow is known as the fluid. Now see here, what is pressure? Pressure, you know, it is the thrust acting per unit area. Thrust acting per unit area. What is thrust? Thrust is a normal force acting per unit area. You keep on writing also. Here P equals to F upon A. Now what is the difference between force and thrust? It is the normal force. Normal to the surface. Normal to surface. Thrust always at normal to the surface. It's clear? So pressure equals to force upon area. It is what type of quantity? So already we know it is a scalar quantity. That quantity. Its unit is Newton per meter square, or we also call it as Pascal. 1 Pascal equals to 1 Newton per meter square. So see here, this is pressure is thrust acting per unit area. Now pressure exerted by solids and pressure exerted by fluids are different from one way. Solids exert pressure because of their weight and only in the downward direction. They exert pressure on any surface because of their weight and only in the downward direction. For example, suppose this is a table and some book is kept over it. What will happen? This book will not exert the pressure in the sideways direction. It will not exert the pressure in upward direction. It will exert pressure only in the downward direction. And it will be because of the weight of the book. Because of the weight of the book. Means if we assume that this area is capital A, then what will be the pressure exerted by the book on the table? It will be equal to the weight of the book divided by its area of its base. Weight upon area. But in fluids, what happens? They exert pressure in all the directions. You know about the laws of the liquid pressure. So you can see here. In the liquid, what will happen? In the liquid or in the gases, and in this chapter mainly we will discuss about the liquid pressure. About the gases, we will study in the kinetic theory of gases. So see here, in the liquid, suppose this is any liquid or any fluid, what will happen? Pressure will be exerted in all the directions, not only in the downward direction. Suppose if you take at this point and the pressure of 10 Newton per meter square is acting at the point P. At the point P, pressure is 10 Newton per meter square. Then it means this pressure is acting in this direction, upward direction, sideways also. In every direction, there will be the same pressure. You have studied one law. Same pressure acts, same pressure exists in all the directions about a point. Liquid exerts same pressure in all the directions about a point. This is one law of the liquid pressure that you can write. Liquid exerts same pressure in all the directions about a point. They not only exert pressure in the downward direction, they exert the pressure in sideways also, in upward direction also. And this liquid pressure, it arises because of what? It arises because of the, who can tell? Due to the Who can tell? Due to the motion of its molecules. Due to the motion of its molecules. Now there is one more law of liquid pressure. There will be same pressure at all points situated on the same horizontal level. Situated on the same horizontal level. Suppose these are some points P, Q and R. They are situated on the same horizontal level. There will be the same pressure. If you have to find the total pressure at any point, then it will be equal to what? It is the atmospheric pressure plus pressure because of this height of liquid column. Pressure exerted by this height of liquid column. What will be the pressure exerted by this height of liquid column? Who can tell? Pressure exerted by H height of liquid column. It is given by P equals to H into rho into G. What is rho? It is the density of liquid. Density of the liquid means mass per unit volume, whose unit is kg per meter cube. G is acceleration due to gravity, and what is H? It is the depth of this point from the free surface of liquid. Free surface means which is in contact of the air. Which is in contact of the air. So what will be the total pressure here? Atmospheric pressure plus pressure exerted due to this height of liquid column. It is clear? So see here, these are the two important laws of the liquid pressure. One, liquid exerts same pressure in all the direction about a point. Second, all the points situated on the same horizontal level. There will be same pressure at them. There will be same pressure at all the points situated on same horizontal level. And why it will be? Because the value of H is same for all the points. Value of H is same for all the points. Liquid pressure exerted by H height of liquid column is given by this formula. H into rho into G. So value of H is same for all the 3 points. Rho and G both are same. So see here. This is, so we will not go at the derivation of this formula. How will you derive, reduce this formula that I am explaining here? I will just explain, but formally we will not derive this formula. Now see here. Here this is a container containing a liquid of density rho. It is containing a liquid of density rho. And we have to determine the pressure at a point situated at H depth below to the free surface. Free surface means this topmost layer. Which means there is a point which is situated at the depth H here. Now pressure depends upon the area of cross section or not. Fluid pressure. Fluid pressure depends on the area of cross section or not. It do not depend upon the area of cross section. But in solids, pressure depends upon the area of cross section. It's clear? And why? You can see here in solids, pressure is exerted by the weight. It is exerted by the weight. Here pressure is exerted because of the molecular motion. For example, its weight is 10 Newton. When you will keep this way, a greater area is in contact. When you will keep this way, what will happen? A smaller area will be contact. So in which case pressure will be more? Case 1, in case 1 pressure will be more, or in case 2 pressure will be more? In case 2 pressure will be more. And why? Because the same force is acting over the smaller area. But in liquid it is not so. It do not depend upon the area of cross section that you can see here. You have to find the pressure at this depth. At this point, whose depth from here is how much? H. Depth is equals to H. So see here, in order to reduce the pressure at this point, we can name this point as A, not A, you can take H, Q. In order to find the pressure at this point, we will assume an imaginary cylinder just above to the point Q. Just above to the point Q, we will assume an imaginary cylinder. Is clear? whose height is equal to h. Height is equal to h. This height is h and area of cross section is a. Its area of cross section means this. This is equals to a. It's clear. So see here, what will be the volume of liquid contained in this imaginary cylinder? Volume of liquid contained in this imaginary cylinder. What will be the volume of this cylinder? H into Q. Q is the point. Q is the point. Area of cross section is A. It's clear. So what will be the volume of liquid contained in this cylinder? It will be equal to H into A. Pi r square H होता है. तुमको मालूम है pi r square क्या चीज है? Area of the base. Area of the base, because base will be circular. It's clear. So it will be A into H. This is the volume of the liquid contained in this imaginary cylinder. So what will be the mass of that liquid? So you know one formula of density. Density equals to mass upon volume. So what will be mass? It will be rho into V. Rho into V. So you substitute the value of V. V equals to this. So it will be rho into A into H. So what will be the weight of that? Weight of this liquid. Weight equals to M into G. Weight equals to M into G. So W equals to M into, that is equals to rho into A into H into G. This is the weight. This weight is acting over this cross section. Over this cross section. In what direction? In the downward direction. This weight is acting over this cross section in downward direction. So by using this formula, pressure equals to thrust upon area. It is acting perpendicular to the cross section because acting vertically downward. Weight of the liquid contained in this cylinder will act vertically downward, means normal to this cross section. So what will be the thrust here? Thrust will be equals to rho into A into H into G divided by A. A and A cancel. Means what is P? P equals to rho into H into G, or you can say H rho G. So from here you can see that pressure do not depend upon the area of cross section. In the fluid, pressure do not depend upon the area of cross section. It is clear? It is independent of area of cross section. Means whether you take a cylinder of a smaller cross section or bigger cross section, in both case pressure at this point will come out same. मतलब हमने क्या किया है, अभी तो इतनी क्रॉस सेक्शन का सिलेंडर दिया है. नाउ यू टेक द सिलेंडर ऑफ ए स्मॉलर क्रॉस सेक्शन. What will happen? Pressure will come out same. Pressure will be same. So this is the formula of the pressure exerted due to a liquid column whose height is h. It's clear? Means what will be the pressure at h depth below to the free surface of liquid? It will be given by h into rho into g. Now then one question. At the greater depth there will be smaller pressure or more pressure? More pressure. You can see here because P is directly proportional to h. Therefore at greater depth there will be greater pressure. Means if you take 2 points, one point you have taken x, other point you have taken y, at which point pressure will be more? At point y pressure will be more. It's clear? That's why when bridges are constructed, then pillars of the bridges are made wider at the bottom. Because these pillars are immersed in the water. It's clear? And at that place at the bottom, soil is soft and liquid is also flowing. water is also flowing. So what will happen? This flowing water will exert force. So in order to bear that pressure, what will happen? These pillars are made wider at the bottom. Now see here. After this, Pascal's law. What is Pascal's law? Who can tell Pascal's law? Now see here, what is Pascal's law? Pressure exerted by an enclosed fluid. Pressure exerted by an enclosed fluid is transmitted equally and undiminished in all the directions. Here, pressure exerted by an enclosed fluid is transmitted equally and undiminished. In all parts of the liquid. In all parts of liquid. Pressure exerted by an enclosed fluid. Enclosed fluid means which is closed from all the sides. From all the sides it is closed. There is no open boundary. For example, if you take tea in a cup, it is a enclosed fluid or not? Whether it is an enclosed fluid or not? No. But if you place a plate here, then what will happen? It will become closed because it is closed from all the sides. So pressure exerted by an enclosed fluid is transmitted equally and undiminished. What is the meaning of equally and undiminished? For example, if you have exerted pressure P here, then the same pressure P will be transmitted at every point. And same pressure will be transmitted at every point means same pressure means equal pressure will be transmitted, which will be equal to P without decreasing. Without any decrease. You can see here there is one example. Here this is a glass sphere, just like a football, and 4 pistons are fixed here. There are 4 pistons are fixed, and these pistons are also having the same size. Their size is same. These pistons are the airtight pistons. Airtight piston means liquid cannot come out from this, as well as frictionless also. And here also it is filled with some liquid. Now see here. Here in these tubes, scale is printed. Scale means क्या है? जो मीटर स्केल है, 1 सेंटीमीटर 2 सेंटीमीटर वो फिक्स. Now you record the initial position of these pistons. Suppose they are at 5 centimeter mark here. Here it is at 5 centimeter mark, and here also it is at 5 centimeter mark. Now if you apply some extra pressure from there on that piston, what will happen? That extra pressure will be transmitted equally and undiminished in all the parts of liquid. अगर क्या है ये इक्वली ना ट्रांसमिट होता, सपोज जिस तरफ ज्यादा ट्रांसमिट होता है इधर कम ट्रांसमिट होता, देन क्या होता, वो पिस्टन ज्यादा बाहर जाती और ये पिस्टन क्या है कम जाती। अगर ये क्या है जो प्रेशर हमने यहाँ पर लगाया है वो इक्वली ना ट्रांसमिट हो, देन व्हाट विल हैपन, these pistons will move by unequal distances, they will move by unequal distances. It will come from 5 to 15 centimeter mark, while it will come from 5 to only 10 centimeter mark. Means here it is moving by 5 centimeter and here it is moving by 10 centimeter. But you will find that all the pistons are moving equally. They are moving equally. Means if it comes out by 7 centimeter, then it will also come out by 7 centimeter. It will also come out by 7 centimeter. Means same pressure will be transmitted at every point. The same pressure will transmit at these points also. पर क्या है वो प्रेशर इतना सफिशिएंट नहीं है कि इन वाल्व्स को डिस्प्लेस कर सके। जितना प्रेशर यहाँ पर एक्स्ट्रा प्रेशर ट्रांसमिट हुआ है, एक्स्ट्रा प्रेशर जितना जो हमने यहाँ लगाया, कितना लगाया 10 न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर. So the same extra pressure will be transmitted at every point, including these pistons at every point of the wall of the sphere. This way you will find that all the pistons will come out by equal distance. Same extra pressure is acting at these points also, but that pressure is not sufficient to move the walls. This way, so according to the Pascal's law, pressure exerted by an enclosed fluid is transmitted equally. Equally means हर एक पॉइंट पर इक्वल ट्रांसमिट होगी एंड अनडिमिनिश्ड. अनडिमिनिश्ड मींस सपोज यू हैव exerted extra pressure P, then the same pressure P will be transmitted. Same pressure P will be transmitted. Now there are some concept of hydraulic machine which is based on the Pascal's law. And what is the concept principle of hydraulic machine? You can note down. Principle of hydraulic machine. Now see here, what is the principle of hydraulic machine? In every hydraulic machine, effort is applied on a smaller piston. You know about the effort and load. It's clear? Effort is applied on the smaller piston, but its effect is observed on the bigger piston, which will be more. Effect when observed on the bigger piston, then that will be more. मतलब हम क्या करेंगे, स्मॉलर पिस्टन पर तो एक स्मॉलर फोर्स लगाएंगे, but when we will observe its effect on the bigger piston, we will find that there is the force, there is greater force. There is greater force is acting, greater force is obtained on the bigger piston. Therefore, hydraulic machine is a speed multiplier machine or force multiplier, because it increases the effect of the effort applied. It increases the effect of the effort applied. It is clear? A smaller force is applied on the smaller piston. Effect which is found on the bigger piston is more. So you write down. Principle of hydraulic machine. According to it, when a smaller force is applied on a smaller piston, then it produces greater effect. It produces greater effect on a bigger piston. Now here there are two vessels of different area of cross-section. Two vessels of different area of cross-section. Both are having airtight and frictionless pistons. Airtight and frictionless pistons. Here some liquid is filled. Now this liquid is infused from all the sides. It is not open. Liquid is filled here. Here we have assumed that its area of cross section is A1 and area of cross section of this piston is A2. It's clear? Area of cross section of smaller piston is A1 and area of cross section of bigger piston is A2. Now I have kept some weights here. When you will place some extra weights here, what will happen? Some extra pressure will be produced. And what will be the extra pressure here? Extra pressure will be equals to weight divided by area. Means how much extra pressure will be created? F upon E. मतलब ये एक्स्ट्रा प्रेशर है जो पहले से एग्जर्ट हो रहा था वो तो है ही ये this is the extra pressure. This much extra pressure is created. Now what will happen? This pressure will be transmitted equally and undiminished in all parts. Means it will be transmitted here also. It is acting here. It is acting in downward direction. What will happen? Pressure is a scalar quantity. You remember it. Don't have any direction. Here just I told that this pressure is acting in downward. Now see here. Here what will happen? The same pressure will be transmitted here. Same pressure will act on this piston also. And when this pressure will act, same pressure will act on this piston. So how much will be the force here? What will be the force? Force equals to pressure into area. Pressure into area. What is the area? Area is A2. What is pressure here? It is equals to, you can say it is F1. And here it is A1. F1 upon A1. So in place of P, you write down F1 upon E1 into E2. This you can. What is F2? F2 is the force produced by this extra pressure on the bigger piston. What is F2? It is the force acting on the bigger piston. So F2 will be equals to P into A2. In place of P, you can write F1 upon A1. So it will be this. So see here, if you write F2 upon F1 from here, A2 upon A1. F2 upon F1 equals to A2 upon A1. Now which is more? A1 is more or A2 is more? Here A2 is bigger in this side and A1 is smaller. Therefore here also F2 will be bigger and F1 will be smaller. Means greater force will be produced on bigger piston on applying a smaller force on the smaller piston. It's clear? And this we have achieved by using the Pascal's law, by using the Pascal's principle. By using Pascal's principle, we have achieved greater force at the bigger piston by applying smaller force at the smaller piston. So what is the principle of hydraulic machine? So actually the principle of hydraulic machine is Pascal's law. It is based on the Pascal's law. It is clear? Now there are various types of hydraulic machines, so I am not going over that. You can see from the book, hydraulic press and all the hydraulic lift. So have you made the diagram? Yes. Now after this, Archimedes principle. Now what is the Archimedes principle? Now who can tell Archimedes principle? Whenever any body is immersed partly or wholly, in any liquid, it experiences an apparent loss in weight. It experiences an apparent loss in weight. Means अगर कोई heavy object हो and water is kept in the bucket and you pour inside the water, what will happen? That object will become lighter. या क्या है? अगर हम कुएं के अंदर क्या होता है, कुआं मालूम है ना जिसमें पानी होता है, उसमें क्या है, जब तक bucket is inside the water, it will feel lighter, but when it will come out, it will become heavier. And why it is so? What is the reason behind this? So you know one force point when any object is immersed under water, heavy object, because in lighter object you will not experience that. So object should be heavy. There is any heavy object, you first lift that object in air and then that you lift that same object under water by pouring it into water. You will feel that when you are lifting it under water, when it is poured inside the water, then it will feel lighter. And why it will feel lighter? Because of the upthrust, because of the buoyant force. Upthrust, buoyant force. What is buoyant force? It is the property of fluids to exert the pressure, to exert the force on any object when that object is immersed in that fluid. For example, air is also exerting some upthrust upon us, but that upthrust is negligible because of the low density of air. हम लोगों पर भी एक अपथ्रस्ट ऊपर की ओर एक्ट कर रहा है, बट वो अपथ्रस्ट क्या है, बहुत ही कम है, बिकॉज ऑफ द डेंसिटी ऑफ एयर, लो डेंसिटी ऑफ एयर. सो व्हाट इज buoyant force? When any object is immersed in any liquid exerts a force on the object in upward direction. This property of the liquid is called the buoyancy, and the force is called the upthrust or buoyant force. So this heavy object feels lighter inside the liquid. Why? Because of the buoyant force. As long as it is in air, as long as this object is in air, its weight is acting in downward direction. Upthrust which is exerted by the air, that is negligible. Upthrust which is exerted by the air, that is negligible. But when it will be immersed in water, what will happen? Weight is still, W is acting in downward direction, but now upthrust will be exerted by water. क्योंकि अब सराउंडिंग क्या है, वाटर है, अभी क्या थी, एयर थी. So this upthrust becomes significant, and when it will become significant, what will happen? Its apparent weight will become less than the actual weight. Suppose actual weight is 100 Newton and upthrust is 20 Newton. So in air, what is the weight? Weight will be 100 Newton. Though it will be slightly less. Here we have taken negligibly small, very small, but not zero. So just now I have assumed that this is 0. So here actual weight is 100 Newton. But inside water, what will be the actual weight? 100 is acting downward, 20 is acting upward. What will be the net weight? It will be 80 Newton. It will feel lighter. But when you take it out, what will happen? It will regain the loss of weight. It will regain the loss of weight. Loss of weight कितना हुआ? 20. कितना हुआ है? 20 न्यूटन के बराबर का. किसके कारण हुआ? अपथ्रस्ट के कारण. अपथ्रस्ट कितना है? 20. Means loss of weight is equal to upthrust. Loss of weight equals to upthrust. And this loss of weight is not actual. एक्चुअल में नहीं है, ये क्या है? इट इज द apparent loss of weight. It is the apparent loss of weight. So see here, what is Archimedes principle? According to Archimedes principle, you write down into Archimedes principle. Whenever any object is immersed partly or wholly in a liquid, it experiences an apparent loss in weight. It experiences an apparent loss in weight. It experiences an apparent loss in weight, which is because of upthrust. What is the cause of this loss in weight? It is upthrust. It's clear. This loss in weight, you write down further, this loss in weight is equal to, this loss in weight is equal to upthrust. This loss in weight is equal to upthrust, which is equal to weight of liquid displaced by immersed part of the body, which is equal to weight of liquid displaced immersed part of body. Weight of liquid displaced by immersed part of body. Means upthrust equals to what? Loss in weight is equal to what? Upthrust. And upthrust equals to what? Weight of liquid displaced by immersed part. Means loss in weight, and this loss in weight is not in actual, it is apparent. Loss in weight equals to upthrust. Equals to weight of liquid displaced by immersed part. So this you will remember. Now we will reduce one relation here. Now see here, suppose there is any body whose volume is V and whose density is rho. Volume is V and density is rho. When it is immersed in any liquid of density rho L, it is immersed in a liquid of density rho L. Let its what volume is immersed, small v portion is immersed. This much portion is immersed. Is clear? What is the immersed portion is this. So what will be the loss in weight? How will you find the loss in weight? So see here, since this is the immersed volume, therefore it will displace the liquid of this volume. It will displace the liquid of this volume. So what will be loss in weight here? Loss in weight equals to, it is the mass of liquid displaced. So this is the volume of liquid displaced multiplied by density of liquid. V into rho L into G. वेट के लिए क्या है m into g. v into rho L is the mass of liquid displaced. m into g. It's clear. What is the actual weight? Actual weight of body. Actual weight will be equals to v into rho multiplied by g. v into rho multiplied by g. So what will be the apparent weight? Who can tell? Apparent weight. How will you find apparent weight? This minus this. That is v rho g minus small v rho L into g. When you will take out common, so it is, what is common? G is common. So it is v into rho minus small v into rho L into, you note down. Now what is law of flotation? Who can tell law of flotation? According to the law of flotation, weight of floating object is equal to the weight of liquid displaced by immersed part of object, and weight of liquid displaced by immersed part is equal to upthrust. Law of flotation. According to the law of flotation, weight of floating body is equal to the upthrust, is equal to the weight of liquid displaced by immersed part of floating body. Weight of floating body equals to upthrust. And what is upthrust here? Upthrust equals to weight of liquid displaced by immersed portion of floating body. This is the law of flotation. What will be the apparent weight during flotation? Yes. Apparent weight of any body during flotation, it will be 0. It will be 0. It's clear? Now see here. Here we have assumed that there is a body of volume V having density rho. It is floating in a liquid of density rho L with how much portion immersed? Small v. हमने यहाँ क्या assume किया है कि ये बॉडी एक लिक्विड में फ्लोट कर रही है और कितना पोर्शन इसका इमर्ज है? स्मॉल v पोर्शन इज इमर्ज. So from the law of flotation, what will you get? Weight of floating body. Weight of floating body means actual weight. Means V into rho into G will be equal to weight of liquid displaced. Weight of liquid displaced means that loss in weight. That is small v into rho L into G. It's clear? This is under flotation. So see here. When you will simplify, what will you get? Here small v, that is rho upon rho L will be equal to small v upon capital V. And what is small v upon capital V? Suppose this is a duster which is divided into 10 equal parts, and during flotation 4 parts are under liquid. जब ये फ्लोट कर रहा है किसी लिक्विड में, इसके 4 पार्ट्स अंडर लिक्विड हैं, then what will be small v upon capital V? 4 upon 10. 4 upon 10 means fraction of this body immersed in liquid. Fraction of body immersed in liquid during the flotation. So this is what? This is the fraction of immersed part of floating body.